The motorists are expected to make the journey home from their long weekend holiday destinations today. Unlike last year, there's no hard lockdown this time around. So what's it looking like on Gauteng's roads? eNCA's senior reporter Aviwe Mtile's on the N1. Good morning, Aviwe. How's it looking this morning?
Well, it's still early, Jane, fairly quiet. In fact, I'm on top of the Golden Highway Bridge, where the cars from the Free State as well as the Eastern Cape normally come through here. We're expecting it, of course, to be bumper-to-bumper traffic later on in the day. But just to get an idea of how the Easter weekend was, I am joined by JMPD's Wayne Menard. Thank you for joining us, sir. But we want to get an idea of the traffic around Easters and how it was.
Yes, look, what we can say is that the traffic accidents wasn't as high as compared to other years. However, the traffic volumes still have to peak today around midday, when the majority of motorists will be heading back to Gauteng. We know that the N1 will get very busy from approximately 11 a.m. and that is with traffic from Limpopo, also from the south, from the Eastern Cape and northwest. Traffic will increase at about midday, and then the N3 traffic volumes is also going to peak with traffic coming into Gauteng from KZN. What we want to urge motorists is to comply. To comply with the road traffic regulations. It's very important that they do not drive above the speed limit. It's very important that they do not overtake when it is not safe. We're still having head-on collisions where people die because of overtaking on a solid white line, or overtaking on a curve, or overtaking where the view or the road ahead is not clear. And then we're also having vehicles that are not roadworthy. Tires and also steering mechanism, brakes that becomes faulty or defective, and then we have accidents. And then we also want to emphasize the importance of to look out for pedestrians, because still half of the deaths are pedestrians. In Johannesburg, we had 4 deaths over the Easter weekend, and of the 4, 2 are pedestrians. So pedestrian fatalities is still very high, and pedestrians must be cautious. They must not cross freeways. We're having still people crossing freeways, which was designed only for motor cars and for vehicles. People are walking on freeways. So motorists must also look out for pedestrians, especially at night, where there's the possibility of them crossing the roads. And that's when the fatalities also happen, is late at night.
Okay, you mentioned what pedestrians can do and what motorists can do, but you mentioned traffic will pick up after 11 today. What will you be doing as law enforcement just to ensure a smoother ride for the motorists?
Yes, there's a huge deployment today of the officers, particularly to monitor the freeways and the main roads. And then there will also be the integrated operations, where all the law enforcement agencies will be working together to ensure that motorists comply with the road traffic regulations, and also to ensure that there's visibility on the roads for officers to assess where there are people who are stranded or people who need assistance. And we're going to check on drivers who are reckless, because it is reckless drivers that cause the accidents. They take chances, they cut in, they turn in front of other oncoming motorists, and they drive above the speed limit. That's when we have fatal accidents. So we've got a huge deployment today of all the officers who will be on duty to monitor the traffic.
And also you mentioned that there were 4 fatalities in Johannesburg, 2 of them being pedestrians. Are these lesser numbers than what we've seen in previous years, and maybe what's been done different this year?
Yes, I mean, we cannot compare to 2020 because of the lockdown. But we know that in other years there's been very high fatalities over the Easter weekend. But as we say, at this point, we can't conclude or we can't make a comparison as yet with the majority of the motorists who are now at this point outside of the province still have to return to Gauteng.
Thank you very much, JMPD's Wayne Menard. Just give us an indication of what we can expect today. And you heard just behind me on this N1 is where cars from the Northwest, Free State and the Eastern Cape will be coming through. Can't conclude as yet to compare to previous years on how this year has been. We heard there's been 4 fatalities, 2 of them being pedestrians, 2 being motorists. But he says that it's looking better than other years, Jane.
All right, viewer, thank you very much for that.